is Valley News Live at 4.
Breaking news this afternoon, Fargo police are now investigating another arson case in downtown Fargo. It was Sunday night when fire crews responded to a fire off of NP Avenue behind the old Mid-America Steel building. Just a short time ago, that fire has been ruled arson. Here's the picture Fargo police provided for suspects in this case. Police are now asking for your help in finding these people. If you have any information as to who these people are, you're asked to call police. Now, it was March 22nd when we told you about the first fire at the old steel plant. That too was labeled as arson, and investigators later identified 3 people as suspects in that fire. Rain, snow, and cooler temps have caused traffic in the area to slow down, and the winter weather conditions continue. This video you see behind me is what it looked like outside here in Fargo just a half hour ago. Let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the latest on the forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. We do have some snow blanketing the ground in the Devil's Lake Basin. It was much needed and welcome. And here is a look at some snowfall reports up to now. Minot. In the drought-stricken part of north central North Dakota, 8.5 inches and still snowing there. Many in our area between 1 and 3 inches of snow. Pembina, Cavalier, Greenbush, though, with over 4. Here's a look at the DOT camera in the Binford area as we take a look at the latest radar. Snow continues Fargo and points south toward the Sisseton Hills, and another batch heading in toward the Minot area as we speak. So some light additional accumulations taking place in the Red River Valley while things are still happening in north central portions of North Dakota where we need the moisture. Winter weather advisory until 7 o'clock tonight as temperatures will stay well at or below freezing for most locations. Look at Badette, a punch of warm air there into north central portions of Minnesota. Your forecast for tonight, cool and breezy conditions with passing flurries. Even into the overnight, we're expecting more snow to develop. I'll have details on that. We'll look ahead toward the latter part of the week here in just a moment.
Okay, thanks, Hutch. There are new concerns tonight over the Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine, and that's prompting health officials, Sanford and Essentia included, to shelve the vaccine for now. Deborah Alfarone is outside the FDA headquarters with more.
The CDC and FDA are recommending a pause in the use of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine to investigate whether it has caused some rare blood clots.
You want to make sure that safety is the important issue here. We are totally aware that this is a very rare event. We want to get this worked out as quickly as we possibly can.
Officials say there have been 6 reported cases of blood clots out of more than 6.8 million doses delivered. All 6 cases occurred in women between the ages of 18 and 48, and their symptoms developed 6 to 13 days after receiving the vaccination.
There have been 6 out of the 6.85 million doses, which is less than 1 in a million.
Johnson & Johnson issued a statement saying there is no clear relationship between these rare events and its vaccine. There have been similar blood clot concerns with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is not yet approved for emergency use in the U.S.
What we're seeing with the Janssen vaccines looks very similar to what was being seen with the AstraZeneca vaccine.
White House officials held a conference call with governors this morning, and they reassured state officials that they can still get a vaccine to everyone who wants one.
We have more than enough supply of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to continue the current pace of about 3 million shots per day.
Still, governors are concerned that today's news will cause more people to not get vaccinated when it's their turn. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Johnson & Johnson says it's delaying the rollout of its vaccine in Europe in response to the concerns raised in America. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says today that he expects the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause will be relatively short. Walz says the pause was done out of an abundance of caution, and he expects that J&J vaccines will come back. The governor also said that 95% of the vaccines distributed in Minnesota have been Pfizer or Moderna.
There have been 6 reported cases of some very rare blood clotting occurrences. All of those happened in women age 18 to 48. They presented themselves from 6 to 13 days after the vaccination.
The CDC says more than 36% of Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and more than 22% of Americans are fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, Sanford Health, Essentia, and the Grand Forks Health Administration are also pausing the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine following national and state guidance. Vice President Dr. Doug Griffin with Sanford Health says the hospital will be shifting to Moderna and Pfizer vaccines only for the time being. Dr. Griffin says today's pause should not stop you from getting vaccinated.
Reassure people that it's been monitored, continue to be monitored, but these vaccines, I think, really are meeting the standard of safe and effectiveness. So
Sanford will be receiving between 4,000 and 5,000 vaccines this week from Pfizer and Moderna. A Crookston bishop has resigned after allegations that he covered up sexual abuse involving clergy in the diocese. The diocese says the Pope asked for and accepted the resignation of former Bishop Michael Heppner. Valley News Live spoke exclusively with one of the victims earlier today.
I revealed to the bishop in 2011 that I was abused by Father Grandhouse in Columbus, Ohio. He first basically scolded me because I was saying this about a priest with high profile in the Crookston Diocese. He made me remain silent on it.
Heppner was appointed bishop of the diocese in 2007. A priest from Iowa is now leading that diocese until a new permanent bishop is installed. We'll have more on this exclusive interview on Valley News Live tonight. The officer involved, or rather responsible for the shooting of Daunte Wright, has resigned, along with the chief of police in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Officer Kim Potter and Police Chief Tim Gannon submitted their resignations as Mayor Mike Elliott called for accountability. Demonstrators remained on the streets after curfew to protest the officer-involved shooting. Omar Villafranca has the latest now from Brooklyn Center.
I miss him so much already.
At a vigil for her son, Daunte Wright's mother remembered him as a funny and playful father.
My heart is literally broken into 1,000 pieces, and I can never get that back because of a mistake, because of an accident.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
As darkness fell on Brooklyn Center, clashes between protesters and police continued outside their headquarters.
You are in violation of the curfew.
The unrest followed the release of body cam video showing the moments leading up to Wright's death. After pulling Wright over for an expired registration tag, officers learned he had an outstanding warrant stemming from 2 misdemeanor charges. When the officers tried to handcuff Wright, he struggled to get back in his car. That's Officer Kim Potter yelling she will tase Wright. But instead, she's holding her gun, which she then fires.
From what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright.
You know, in any other line of work, if you kill someone in any other line of work, you are at the very least going to lose your job. We're going through the due diligence to see to it that we can make the right determination.
Omar Villafranca, CBS News.
After speaking with Governor Walz, President Biden weighed in yesterday, calling Wright's killing tragic and urging protesters to remain peaceful. The shooting in Brooklyn Center has led to looting of several businesses last night. Just weeks after some stores were able to reopen, looters threw rocks, forced their way inside, and caused thousands of dollars of damage. One minority business owner says he sympathizes with those hurting from what happened to Daunte Wright, but also says he can't take any more of this.
You know, I'm a single father. Just everything on top of each other, all the pain, sweat, and tears that you have to go through to be in this, business and be an entrepreneur, and then for things to just continue to happen, it's really deflating.
Just down the street, the owners of a pub had to board up their windows last night. They were gutted by fire in the last spring riots. The defense began presenting in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin today after prosecutors rested their case. Lawyers for the former Minneapolis police officers started off by showing body cam video of a previous arrest involving George Floyd. Elise Preston has the latest from New York.
Put your hands on the dash. The last time I'm going to tell you that. It's simple.
The jury watched body cam video of a 2019 arrest involving George Floyd as the defense's case got underway.
You're not going to get beat up or nothing if you just follow what we're asking you to do.
The defense's first witnesses were a retired police officer and paramedic involved in the previous arrest in which Floyd had high blood pressure and confessed to heavy opioid use.
In your mouth, spit out what you got. Spit out what you got.
Did you hear the officer say spit it out?
I may have, yes.
Did you record what his blood pressure was at that time?
Yes, it was 216 over 160. Had history of hypertension and had not been taking his medication.
The defense maintains it was Mr. Floyd's drug use and heart issues that led to his death last year, not former police officer Derek Chauvin pinning him down. But prosecutors pointed out a key difference between the two arrests.
Mr. Floyd didn't drop dead while you were interacting with him, correct?
No.
Shawanda Hill, who was in the SUV with Floyd before his encounter with Chauvin, testified that Floyd had fallen asleep in the vehicle and roused when police approached.
He instantly grabbed the wheel and he was like, please, please don't kill me. Please, please don't shoot me. Don't shoot me.
The jury also watched body cam footage of a Minneapolis Park police officer who responded to the scene. He testified that the crowd was aggressive and he was concerned for the officer's safety. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
The judge told jurors the footage from the 2019 arrest was solely to show what effect opioids may or may not have had on Floyd's physical well-being. It was not to be used to judge Floyd's character. The defense has not said whether or not Derek Chauvin will take the stand in his own defense. Still to come, kind words today from Princes William and Harry as they remember their late grandfather and how he lived his life.
And the weather system creating our showers of snow and north wind in the valley will continue to bring us unsettled weather right into your hump day. Your hour-by-hour forecast, including how much more snow you can expect, coming up right after this.